If you guys had to be a ghost from any movie, what movie would that be? And that your choice will determine not only your physical appearance, but also like the physics of how you work as a ghost, according to that movie's rules.
Final Destination. That's a ghost, isn't it?
What?
You'd be the ghost of actual death.
Death. Yeah, I'll be death. Thanks.
I feel like that'd be frustrating. It's like, okay, I need to kill this kid. I guess I need to loosen this nut so that it falls off. I'd be the laziest one.
Kiss my ass, Rube Goldberg.
God, it's the fifth kid in a row who's died because just a bookcase fell on him.
Even though there was like a stapling gun set out just at eye level, there was grease on the floor, and the bookshelf got him. So
I like the fact that I'm like the apprentice death in this scenario, and the proper death is like setting up scenarios for me. It's like, come on, you can do it. I know. Oh, fuck.
People keep falling down these stairs.
I would say Casper ghosts are pretty fucking awesome.
It depends.
Like,
Pretty powerful.
They still have effect on the physical world.
True.
Like, otherwise I was going to say Patrick Swayze, but he literally has to get Whoopi Goldberg to do everything for him, which is, I mean...
Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, I'd like Whoopi Goldberg to do more for me, but...
It's about time she did.
Whoopi.
Yeah.
Whoopi.
Fucking hell.
Whoopi.
Where she fucked my widowed wife. That was nice of her.
With a smile and not at all, Whoopi.
Work the anus. It's work the anus, Whoopi. Yeah, I feel like with Casper though, it depends, because you might get to be like a really cool kind of ghostly form of your previous self, or if you're Casper, for example, you might get to look like a fucking clip art.
Yeah. But he's adorable. Also, I do have a theory about that.
Ooh. That will die with a tremendous amount of unfinished business. The Shield. I've heard that's good. I haven't watched any of it. Maya Angelou. I haven't read any Maya Angelou. And I've never played Pokemon cards at a competitive level. So
you fool.
My ghost is just going to be a fucking mess.
Yeah. Oh no. Look forward to seeing it. Your ghost, that is. I mean.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm Paul Salt.
I'm living impaired.
And I'm Ellen with a lot of unfinished business.
Yes, today we're joined by the second of 3 baby bearders.
Oh, why am I not the first? No, we're on a schedule, aren't we?
Yeah, unfortunately, Phil sneaked his brain dream in a little, just a little before you.
That bastard!
This time, the Pauls and Ellen are to be haunted by the very spookiest of family films. It's Brad Oh, fuck, I didn't even... this is the first time...
Funky Brad Selinger, or whatever your name is.
This is the first time in my entire life I've said this man's surname out loud. I didn't even try whilst preparing for this.
Silberling?
The Pauls and Ellen are to be haunted by the very spookiest of family films. It's Brad Silberling's 1995 one of those. Casper!
For 100 years, he has wandered the halls of Whipstaff Manor, waiting for someone.
There's a girl on my bed.
Casper.
Can you go invisible? That one's easy.
Now, life at Whipstaff Manor
Can I keep you?
will never be the same.
Cool.
Ghosts can't hurt you. Yes, again, bone bag!
Apparently the brainchild of famous movie man Steven Spielberg. The movie was Silberling's directorial debut, setting him on a path to direct such classics as City of Angels, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, and Land of the Lost starring Will Ferrell. So basically he exclusively made the least popular versions of various things.
Oh.
Yeah. That's really interesting as well, because Roger Ebert, in his review, he really liked Casper. I mean, I don't know if you're going to get into that, but he was he was talking about how there was a real trend at that moment for live-action films of not quite popular cartoon shows, like the
Like
Flintstones
Addams Family?
and
Flintstones, yeah, of course.
yeah.
That was a big production. Jesus Christ, I don't think I've thought about the Flintstones in about 10 years.
Oh.
They put a lot of effort into that movie. It was like Blade Runner and Bedrock. The fucking cars and Halle Berry.
The very opposite of Blade Runner. quite in the opposite direction there.
Oh god. The movie was written by Sherry Stoner, who is more famous as a voice actor for Slappy Squirrel in the Animaniacs.
Oh.
But she was
Okay,
also
cool.
the physical animation reference for Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and more crucially for me in my development, Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So any cute things that Ariel did with her face, that's Sherry Stoner.
That's interesting as well, because the animators fucking hated Ariel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was one animator who, he like apologized for working on, because he did a lot of Ariel's facial expressions. And he was just like, it's too much, like, it doesn't look fucking real, I don't know what I'm doing here. Her eyes are like third of her fucking face. I've created a monster.
Were they just angry because she was an attractive, strong woman? I
Exactly.
just couldn't get over that. Fucking hated it.
They hate that at the Disney company. I mean, for a while, they did.
In the
But
animation
anyway,
industry.
yeah.
It's in fashion at the moment, apparently. I don't approve of it, and neither does the CEO of Marvel. So, the other writer on this film was Deanne Oliver, who voiced the brave little toaster. So, through the medium of animation, one of these women forged my dreams, and the other my nightmares.
They are really your
Which one?
Your God and your Satan. Your heaven
They
and
are.
your hell.
And they
Yeah,
got
yeah,
together
yeah.
to write this. And then J.J. Abrams rewrote it uncreditedly.
Yeah. Does he do that to a lot of your, moral fantasies?
Just Casper. It
You're sitting
seems.
there with your eyes shut. Oh no, JJ, you got to come in and save this one, mate.
Come on.
I had the plumber come round. Whoopi Goldberg was already there. And the scenario just hasn't taken off at all like I hoped it would.
Fell apart like cake in my hands.
Why do
Pretty
you
sure
just
that's what
hold
it is.
cake in your hands?
That's my problem, and I'm dealing with it, Ellen.
You gotta live
Famously-
with what you create.
Famously can never let go of a cake. Poor woman. Someone posed to him the idea of having your cake and eating it too, and he was like, fine, I'll have it. And he just has.
Ever since. That was 20 years ago.
No, please, Paul, just eat it for the sake of us.
For the love of your family.
It's like a blood pact, but so much worse somehow.
Frosting pact. Ugh.
Straight into the blood.
Now, the movie features the voice of Malachi Pearson, whose next role after Casper was in Training Day as Crackhead number 2.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Now, the thing is,
oh my god.
that is according to Wikipedia. It is not on IMDb, so maybe it's just some guy added that, and nobody, not even like Malachi Pearson, has fucking gone in to change it, which is even sadder in many ways.
Oh, wow.
It was Devon Sauer. He updates the Wikipedia pages of all of his
that dick.
rivals.
Yeah, he did not like that.
He's
Well,
a
I did
crackhead
do-
now.
I'm Casper.
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
I did do a bit of IMDbing, mainly because when I was a kid, so like I had a lot of crushes on everything
Right.
that ever moved. So one of my crushes in this film was Bill Pullman.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he's the ultimate daddy.
Fuck yeah, he is. He's every dad you ever wanted.
And the other one was Vic.
Oh, the job.
One of the cool kids. And I IMDb'd him to see if he was still hot today. And guess who was right? It's me!
So that acting he's not doing.
Still hot. Yeah, he's not acting, but he is still hot. So, like, 1 out of 2.
I mean, that's the most important one.
No amount of child acting burdens is going to get rid of those cheekbones.
Child acting cocaine might, though.
I thought it added to them.
Famously wears away the cheeks.
Oh, God. That's where
Oh,
the
he's
bloody
got
nose comes
Cocaine
from.
cheeks.
Starts from your cheeks.
Most people are actually pumpkins. Nobody really talks about this.
Nobody's ever done the math.
Weird.
Well, speaking of the math, cinematography is by Dean Cundy, the visionary shaper of light who shot Halloween, Jurassic Park, and Jack and Jill.
Oh, great.
Oh.
The film was not well received by critics. Film 4 staff at Film 4, they're only allowed to exist as a single homunculus entity now.
We are Film 4 stuff.
We would like cheese for lunch. Not again, Film 4 staff. The cheese budget of Film 4 is ridiculous. is the fucking quote from this bizarre fucking amalgamation of film critics at Film 4? Only Richie, strange gothic child that she is, it gets close to shining next to the animation. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks?
Okay. Yeah,
Says Christina Ricci.
it's not necessarily bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's weird how some critics will just state facts, but then still tint their review in a kind of somewhat negative way. Like, I was in a show and it was kind of like, the theme was very obvious, and we're like, yeah,
Good.
we wanted it
It's a
to be.
Yeah.
Well, we did it on purpose. We didn't fuck up. Like,
I mean, I get that drugs are bad, but, you know.
but drugs are bad.
I like the fact you're identifying that Christina Ricci is a strange gothic child as fact.
That is a fact. What are you talking about? That's she was born purely to play Wednesday Addams. Like, she was engineered somehow in a lab.
By Christopher Lloyd.
she's got the jaded face of an adult in everything she does, and it is strange and gothic and childlike, and I love it.
Yeah, she shines.
It was odd for me. I had a crush on her quite heavily when I first saw this film in 1996. Now, as an adult watching it, and
Paul,
because
you really want to be careful here in the territory
I know.
you're straying into.
I know, it's eerie. It's like when you see kid pictures of the girl you're dating, and it's like, oh yeah, that's still you, but you are a kid.
It's cool. He's going to edit it, so I'm saying it all.
Yeah,
in
fantastic. Yeah,
How fucking good is that edit?
Goodman,
Just
you
after each thing I
sicko.
say, says Goodman.
Paul's a fucking genius. Don't know what to tell you.
Oh
Christ.
gosh, I do get what you mean though, where it's kind of like you see
Yeah.
the shadow of the adult kind of emerge, and you
Yeah.
can kind
Yeah.
of find it in the facial structure. There's not too often
Yeah, but
that
then-
you look at a kid and you see how they age that you're just like, what the fuck? Like, you know what you're
But then,
dealing
then
with.
their face,
Yeah.
but then their face moves slightly, and you don't see any of that. It's just a kid again, and it's like, get off the lawn,
Get a job.
get a job.
You're always on that phone.
Jesus.
My hatred of children and fondness for Christina Ricci was really at loggerheads in this.
This is the perfect Genesis film for you. Just really bring them together.
Your origin story.
Oh Christ! Let's have another review.
Yeah.
Oh. Rita Kempley at Rotten Tomatoes says, as expected, it features extra spectral effects,
Oh.
slews of celebrity guest shots, and splendidly decorated sets. For all that, though, the film is duller than a dead man's eyes.
Oh,
She
quite
knows.
a lot of puns.
She knows.
Like, I'm still mad at them because I love Casper, but the puns are pretty
Yeah.
good. So
She knows exactly how dull a dead man's eyes are, so
She
you gotta
was-
have puns to get you through the day.
she was arrested shortly
She's
after.
some shit.
She was revealing her crimes for her film reviews. So, in conclusion, Independence Day was very much like that guy I shot.
The guy
You know
I
the
carved
one.
the Virgo sign into.
You know the one. You know, Dave.
Which is the noise he made when he was falling down that flight of stairs.
He said his own name. Dave.
Remember me as.
Remember me as I lived. Davely.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck. Casper.
Any more reviews?
Yes, Ebert liked it, as covered.
Yay.
He awarded it 3 stars out of 4 and said it's easy to see why Casper the Friendly Ghost has such an appeal for small children. They have so much in common with him, since they too feel invisible and misunderstood and remember little of their earlier lives. Even his positive reviews are just fucking crazy.
That's melancholic at best.
I mean, yeah, I feel like Ebert's getting a lot off his chest in that review. I don't
Yeah.
It's really revealing
Like
a
all
lot.
children, swears Roger Ebert.
I kind of...
Identify with ghosts.
I understand what he means, though. Like,
I think so.
children really attach themselves to characters who kind of feel things very strongly because, like, they feel things very strongly and they don't necessarily have outlets. And I think a lot,
Yeah.
if you're a kind of lonely kid, which I think most kids are at a certain point, you really attach yourselves to kind of figures that look like you know, that sometimes just don't have anyone to talk to or play with, and you feel like you're bullied by kind of all these adults who come in, or that people are weird when they kind of, like, I mean, Casper is a fucking ghost, so people are necessarily scared of him. but like...
Casper the fucking Ghost was a rejected title for...
That's my sequel, baby!
Casper's awkward teenage years.
Fucking Ghost! But yeah...
No, I agree.
I get that. I get what he means. I think he's also psychoanalyzing the film quite a lot.
Well, that's good. You've got to bring that to this.
Yeah.
That's what Ebert brings. But yeah, I mean, I was a kid in a British school system, so I definitely know what it's like to be a semi-translucent kind of blob that's just vaguely in most rooms. I mean, there were about 30 kids in my chair in my class, so I get that.
Oh, they used you as a pillow, all that kind of stuff.
I'm just the bottom one. 29 kids on top of me.
They said you could take it.
Oh, God.
We put the strong ones on the bottom. You can see them fight their way to the top.
That's how you make a film critic.
It's like Princess and the Pea, only...
By the end of his 9th year, Ebert had eaten most of the other kids and just...
and emerged from the womb.
Are you saying with your Princess and the Pea comment that there was a kid on the top of the stack being like, no, I can still feel him,
Yeah,
Mr. Barker?
Yeah,
I can still feel salt twitching around down there.
crush him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what your school of experience was like, but that's ringing very true for me.
Now, I'm so reticent to add further comments to this, but I just want to add that the Wikipedia reception section for this movie features a lovely picture of Mr. Brad Garrett. The second of 2 pictures on the page after the poster, with the caption, Brad Garrett was praised by critics for his performance. A lovely sentiment that is in no way backed up by anything in the rest of the article. That was added by Brad Garrett's mum.
Well, you know, she enjoyed it.
God.
Are we saying that's not a review? Are we saying the reviews of parents of their child is not a review?
It is. James Corden has taught us as much. The public were no less likely to warmly receive Brad Garrett into their homes. Anita Dunham on Google said, "This is a childhood trap. If you watch it as a child, you'll love it no matter how bad it turns out to be. This movie has a dozen unfunny, or the closest thing to humour in this is the cameos. From Rodney Dangerfield, Mel Gibson, Jane Fonda," I think that was Jane Fonda, "and one of the Ghostbusters." Which one did you think was Jane Fonda?
Did she think Kathy Moriarty was Jane Fonda?
That's
the
the
only
only
thing I
thing.
can think of.
I mean, I thought that was Faye Dunaway for most of the film.
She was having a gay old time, wasn't she?
She most certainly was.
Unless she just doesn't know how to see Mel Gibson anymore.
He was in his beautiful period. His beautiful young man period.
Very beautiful. Yeah. His least racist time.
Oh, it was his most. He just kept it under wraps. He was most racist when he was beautiful.
Beware the beautiful. They are the most racist.
If you learn nothing else from this podcast, and it's really looking like you're not going to, then...
Not about Casper, anyway.
The film has just 44% on Rotten Tomatoes, 49% on Metacritic, and 6.1 on IMDb. Ooh. So maybe all those critics just got too spooked.
Yeah, exactly. They couldn't handle the heat.
Too spooky.
Or the lack of. Because
they could handle the cold. Yep, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, good.
Good joke, team.
We cobbled it
Glad
together
we group-worked that one.
out of fucking nothing.
Fucked that one over the line.
Oh, God. All right. Jess Harnell as a Threeman. He provides the voice of Arnold here in the credits, which we can only assume is the Arnie voice that Casper puts on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come with me if you want to live.
So,
Oh, no.
yeah.
So he does that. He also voiced Ironhide in Transformers 2. He was the weapons specialist. I found a compilation of all of Ironhide's scenes in the entire Transformers saga. It was 13 minutes long. Those movies are 400 minutes each. So
that's not. I feel like they've really thrown him to the wolves here. Like
the Nick Clegg of the Transformer saga.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's really sad to see someone go down as a Threeman because it's just like.
Oh. Well, he also did additional voices for the Emoji Movie, so... You're right, he's barely in these things, and yet he did a line in this.
Yeah, shot in the line of action.
It's a line that has nothing to do with anything. Yeah. It's not even good. And now he's a Threeman.
Jess Harnell. It's not... To be honest, I mean, Pamela Anderson was not a Threeman, but nevertheless. We just felt it had to happen.
But you did try your hardest.
Oh, free to a man, free in the bush, free, go.
shit, mate.
All right, look, here's someone who actually fucking deserves it. Dan Aykroyd is a five-man.
Christ.
Oh, he was in Christmas with the Cranks, Pearl Harbor, Pixels, and now Casper. That's only four.
That's four.
That's only four. That's how bad it is.
Well, he just wants to like fund his Crystal
Skull
Vodka.
Empire. Yeah.
Yeah. his
And
I mean, that's literally all he did in Pixels. So, Ellen, what made you want to bring Casper to this particular spooky dance?
I fucking love this film. No, this film, it's interesting, that review we read earlier about if you watched this and loved it as a kid, no matter how bad it is now, you will just only love it. The thing is, I don't think it's a bad film. I think it's an unfocused film, and there's like a weird kind of thing of like, oh, we got this PG rating, we just better say bitch a few more times.
Yeah.
And like put in these cameos that adults are going to get, but children are absolutely not. Except for Dan Aykroyd. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, what the fuck is Clint Eastwood to kids?
Yeah, exactly.
Or Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
What am I looking at, Daddy? Nothing.
That's the voice of Rocky from Chicken Run. Oh, thanks, Dad.
Or he is, what's his fucking face in Pocahontas?
Oh, yeah, John Smith.
Yeah,
Whatever his
the
name
worst
is,
character
yeah.
ever. Anyway.
Kids are really up on
Hey.
the voice actors' names in the Disney back catalogue.
Yeah.
I really loved his delivery, Dad.
He was just so racist. I loved it.
That was Pocahontas.
But yeah, I fucking loved this film. I would watch it.
Cool.
This was one of the ones that I would watch on repeat. I did have the VHS.
Yeah,
and
me too, yeah.
there was just so many beautiful moments. When I think back to Casper, I honestly forget a lot of the kind of weird, awkward attempts at humor, and I remember a lot of the genuine moments. Like, and to this day, like the music will still kind of make me tear up. I love. I just always remember the scene between Bill Pullman and his wife Amelia. Like, I just that for me is kind of one of the highlights. And I did have a crush on Devon Sawa as well. So
And Bill Pullman.
and Bill Pullman. Look, everyone in this film, honestly.
Hot
Rodney,
AF.
Rodney Dangerfield, fucking daddy.
In the desperate hope that one of you is willing to join me in this particular pool of hot water, how do you feel about Devon Sawa now, watching it back?
As in, like, do I still find him hot? He is a child.
He's a child, Paul!
But yeah, I understand why, like, younger me was like, oh shit, yeah. I don't find him, like, I don't think now very hot. I think it was just a perfect genesis of, like, you know, that kind of teen boy face for me, who was probably like 6 or 7. And just kind of like, it was that attainable, aspirational kind of crush where it's like,
Right.
oh, when I'm a cool 13-year-old, that's who I'm gonna have a crush on, and like, you know, that's who I'm gonna go to the dance with. And
Yeah,
then
the
have
lonely
him
ghost boy.
have him fade away into nothing.
In front of everyone.
Like the
Great.
real Devon Sawa.
Oh, but
Oh, hot take.
that's really good, though. I'm going to edit it so that that's what I said earlier about Christina Ricci.
Damn it, he's too good. Yeah, and we mainly started talking about this because I mentioned how I fucking love the music in your music
Yeah.
episode. So
Yeah, it's got really good music by James Horner.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, wonder if he's getting close to Three-Man territory at this stage. Never check the music, guys.
don't you dare!
There's a segment for this. We could have a Oh, What a Lovely Score.
Ah, yeah.
James Horner, he did this. And this. And this.
Oh, Oh, should we quick fire?
I think it's about
No.
that time, yeah.
We're going to go through the plot, young Paul.
Go on then.
So we have two kids
Yes.
coming up to this very creepy old condemned manor, and they want to be seen as cool at school. So they're going to go into a condemned house,
So cool.
and they got to take a picture to prove that they were in it. And when they go to take the picture, something frightens them so much that the kid on the right's face fucking splits in
Yep.
half.
He becomes a fucking say cheese and die style haunted camera face man.
Exactly. When I was a child, nothing in this film was scarier than that. Like, just the Polaroid developing and seeing this
It's really creepy.
this kid's like fucking elasticine face with its jaw like down to his chest in
Yeah,
fright.
it's very goosebumps.
Yeah, he's really good at he's what did that kid go on to do? I'd love to know.
Oh god, but you know what the tragedy is? Those two kids squabbling over the camera and who was going to take the picture, they were about 5 seconds away from inventing the selfie. It could have been 20 years early. If Casper just chilled, they'd have been like, hang on a minute.
We can both be in it. Yeah.
Kinda.
Then we cut to fucking who's the lawyer? It's Ben Stein as a lawyer. So he is reading aloud the will of a very, very wealthy person to his
We've got
disinterest-
pervert there for some reason. A very, very wealthy pervert.
Yeah, it's a very wealthy pervert.
You don't want to hear what he's got to say about Christina Ricci.
Oh God, no, I really don't. The daughter of the deceased, played by Kathy Moriarty, Carrigan Crittenden, is told that she has been left with nothing except for this haunted house in Maine, essentially.
To the Dyslexic Dalmatians Foundation.
Down with the livestock. What did the old stiff leave me?
I believe that what the bereaved is trying to express is that the sudden death of her only father has left a great gaping void in her bank, in her life, and Carrigan wonders what he has left her to fill it up with.
Whipstaff Manor in Maine.
And?
And I'm late for lunch, so if you'll excuse me.
Are you trying to tell me that I just spent the last 2 days holding his clammy hand, waiting for him to kick, and all I get in return is one lousy piece of property?
No, it was lousy 50 years ago. Now it's condemned.
And she and her assistant fuck buddy, Eric Idle, I don't know.
It's definitely implied she's fucking him. I want that to be headcanon
Yeah, right.
for everyone. That's part of Dibs.
She's doing fucks on him. He's
Yes.
so grateful.
She would be such a pillow princess. Anyway.
He was grateful at first, but now it's just,
So they throw away the wheel in anger, only for the fire to reveal that there is a treasure hidden at the mansion, which is, what is it? Buccaneers and buried gold, Whipstaff doth a treasure hold. So then
In the darkness, bind them.
They go to the house, right?
They go to the house. They're trying to get people in to basically either exercise it or just knock it the fuck down. So we have a few cameos in there. We have...
Including Dan Aykroyd.
Who are you gonna call? Someone else.
He's not going to shave for anyone, not any part of himself.
Yeah, he refuses to shave that weird moustache. I don't know what that was for, but...
They should have CGI'd it off. That always works perfectly.
Yeah, and then they try and demolish it, but the construction work... Everyone basically gets so spooked that they go, nah, fuck you, I'm out. And Carrigan and Dibs are kind of left with this haunted house still. Meanwhile, Casper's a bit upset because no one wants to play with him, or everyone keeps getting frightened off.
When he wasn't such a terrible racist.
Casper's watching the TV and he sees a little fluff news piece on Dr. Harvey, played by Bill Pullman, therapist for the dead, as the newsreader reads it.
Actor?
Bill Paxman? Paxman, fuck.
It's a really weird little puff piece as well. Like, they have a bit where they're filming his daughter, Kat, Christina Ricci, like she's a fucking perp walking through. Even though she's like, she tells the cameraman, look, I'm going to school right now, can you not? And I'm like, would Kat have signed a non-disclosure for that? I don't know.
Can we use this? Yeah, sure. What, me telling you to fuck off? Yeah, you can use that.
So Casper turns the ad on. He kind of like pops into the telephone. What does he pop into?
He pops into a TV and
telephone.
Yeah,
wires?
he goes down the telephone
like
wires to the tune from Home Alone, and he manages to turn the TV onto Nancy Kerrigan. I can't remember her name. Nancy Cartwright.
Carrigan.
Yeah, Jane
Carrigan.
Fonda.
Jane
Crittenton.
Fonda.
Jane Fonda.
He turns the television around and she sees it and she's like, "Oh, that's a unique solution to my problem."
Oh, I saw the end of this documentary, but I think I know what this is getting at.
This is the last 2 seconds, but Christina Ricci's face says it all. Get me that couple.
But yes, so we then cut to Bill Pullman and Christina Ricci in the car. They're driving
Finally
over to
together
this
at last
house.
on screen.
Yeah. Bill Pullman is fucking struggling to sing in time to the fucking radio.
Yeah, and what's he singing to?
What is it?
That's life.
That's life. That's what all people say. Friday night April, sat down in.
Oh, yeah.
This film is riddled with puns. Yeah. So he's singing along to That's Life. Kat basically is fed up. She's being a bit bratty because she's like, I'm sick of being moved around constantly.
Yeah.
And we also reveal that she doesn't actually believe in ghosts.
Yeah, and she is not afraid to just straight up tell her dad that he's not ever going to find the dead wife again.
Yeah.
She's sick of his shit at this
Yeah.
stage. This week, we're moving to Alaska, honey. Oh.
There's not even ghosts.
Why?
You weren't even in Aliens. I hate this.
So then they get to the house. Carrigan and Dibbs have a really weird interaction with them.
Yeah.
But basically, they make it understood that Dr. Harvey is to get in there, therapize the fucking ghosts, and clear out the house. And time is of the essence, essentially.
It certainly is. Richie claims Casper's bed and sets up a sleeping bag on top of this fully made bed.
Yeah.
Because you can never be too careful.
I thought that was a nice
And,
little character thing, because she's expecting to move in like 2 weeks.
She doesn't even want to wrinkle the duvet.
Did you see how fucking dusty that house is? And you want to get into
That's
that
true.
bed without like washing the sheets? This reveals so much more about you, Paul, than it does about the film.
Look, has no one else here gone camping in a house?
Does look exactly like the kind of bedroom Christina Ricci would choose in real life.
Well,
though. I feel like I know
There's
her at
like
this stage.
a nice
Creepy
little
gothic
visual
chick.
moment, which I always remember from as a child. As she opens the door, there's a little cat figurine.
Yeah.
A black cat.
Yeah, she finds the cat.
Yeah, so it makes sense for me, anyway.
Casper drips some liquid on her. And
Don't say it like that! This is my precious childhood that you guys are eviscerating with your cum.
that's not the first time I've been told
Our own
that.
personal stash.
Oh god.
Cummins, it says on the bottle.
So Kat gets quite a fright from Casper, and he's trying to pluck up the courage to talk to her, and he basically makes himself known. She flips the fuck out and faints, as women do.
Oh, bloody women.
And then comes back. She's screaming. Bill Pullman rushes with all his limbs are flailing to his daughter.
Yeah.
And basically tries to kind of reassure her. Like, he checks under the bed like it's a fucking boogeyman. And at this point, I'm thinking, Dr. Harvey, have you not actually seen a ghost? Like,
oh no!
Like, do you know what I mean? Are you just doing it to find your own closure? Like,
Purely
he still
speculative.
believes. Yeah, like he still believes.
It's take shelter at this stage.
He is Michael Shannon.
He still believes in ghosts because he really wants to meet his wife.
Yeah.
But does that mean he's making it all up?
It is a bit fucking rich. It's like, and I'm going to spend my entire life dedicated to ghosts. Dad, there's a ghost in my room. Don't be fucking ridiculous.
He sees Casper, the most adorable ghost,
Aw.
and his scream. I don't want to go into it. It may be one of my favorite
things.
things. But he fucking screams so cartoonishly.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Yeah.
Grabs Cat like fireman lift style,
Yep.
and starts running out of the house.
Yeah.
Runs through the house, locks her in a cupboard, and tells her not to come out until he's done.
So all that ghost cum is gone.
The three uncles get home from their night out.
Yeah, they've been at the races because they say when we're there, the ponies always the ponies always race much faster.
Yeah, Flicker.
So they spook horses essentially.
They spook horses, don't they? And
Very well done.
Thank you. I'm so fucking happy. I can't even see my notes for the tears.
Yeah, so we're introduced to Fatso, Stinky, and Stretch.
Yeah.
Say, Bullpen, why ain't you inside doing your chores?
Yeah, where's dinner? I'm starving. Look at me, I'm wasting away.
I know. How about you guys relax out here and tonight we'll eat al fresco?
Hey, sounds great. Who's that?
Say, short shit, you wouldn't be trying to keep us out of the house, would ya?
No.
I can see right through that bulbous little head of yours.
It's just such a lovely night. I thought we'd have fun just eating under the harvest moon.
Shine on harvest moon, up in the sky.
And they don't like that there's
Folk in the home.
Flesh bags in their house.
Yeah, so they jump into Dr. Harvey.
They possess him, that's right.
They possess him in a pastiche of Poltergeist that was also produced by Steven Spielberg.
Good stuff.
He looks in a mirror and sees three men, I think it's four men who either are or will eventually become grumpy old dead pricks.
I'm gonna kill you, your mama, and all her bridge-playing friends.
You think you got it tough? I got a facelift. There was one just like it underneath.
Clint Eastwood, Rodney Dangerfield, Mel Gibson, and is the last one the Crypt Keeper?
The Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt, including the puppeteer and voice actor of the Crypt Keeper, which is
wow,
a lot of energy to go. And it was also, as a kid, unfamiliar with the wacky character the Crypt Keeper, a very frightening moment for me as a kid when his face just turns into a fucking corpse.
It's really weird more than anything, and you're just like, oh, this is kind of very strange. Oh my god! And I kind of like that about the uncles, that their main methods of kind of spooking people are still quite creative.
Yeah.
Like they're much more like fucking with people more than anything else, as opposed to outright scaring them.
Yeah, that's true.
So
anyway, he manages to get rid of them.
He basically ends up introducing himself to them as their therapist.
Yes.
And vacuums them up to deal with later, I suppose, like most therapists.
Like a therapist would, yeah.
Yeah. You've got to get their respect, Paul. You've got to. If the patient doesn't respect you as a badass, then it's very hard for them to share all of their problems. The next morning, Casper makes breakfast for Kat, which includes whisking an egg with his bare fingers, which is a very troubling thing to see.
He's a ghost. He doesn't have skin.
What about the ectoplasm?
What's the bacteria going to be stuck to, Paul?
Can't grow on ghost flesh.
But he has a little Rube Goldberg machine for the breakfast, which is very adorable.
Anyway, she goes to school, I believe, where she encounters the bitchy popular girl and the
Amber
and the kind of dumb romantic lead.
How dare you? Yeah, Amber's one of those typical preteen, only from films, but like preteen school bitches who hate our main character for literally no reason. But it's just very strange how much she hates Kat instantly.
She hates her so much.
Is that meant to be a thing? Like, is it meant to be because Vic's kind of flirting with her, but she meets Kat first. Like, she almost runs her over with her bike, and she's like, "Watch it."
I think it's just a script.
Anyway, nope.
I don't know how to rate this.
That's a symptom.
Okay, there's no such thing as a bad script. There's only bad actors, Goodman. What's her motivation?
How's your script coming along?
Bad.
But anyway, she goes to class where her teacher gets her name wrong and then visibly laughs along to jokes made at her expense.
Good one, Amber.
That's pretty good.
Not even really jokes. Like, she says it's Cat, actually, as in terms of, like, she prefers to be called Cat as Kathleen. Yeah. And then Amber just goes, meow. And that's fucking hilarious.
What the fuck is that? Amber, stand up. What the fuck was that?
6 are the best for you, Amber.
Amber, that was pretty good. But I'm not going to let it fly too many more times.
Because we
7
need
or 8,
to have
maybe.
a party. So the school Halloween party, they can't do it because there's asbestos in the gym. The 90s.
Oh.
The class just volunteers Kat's house without her. It's not like she said, oh, we could probably have the party at my house. Everyone's just like, yo, Kat has a really fucking spooky house.
The token
we
black
should have
kid
it at hers.
points out that she has a spooky house. And they're all like, yeah. She's just like, I see no problem with that. Now, I'm gonna have to summarize a little going forward. Casper asks her out, and then when she says no, he nearly kills her. Again, just summarizing.
No! Casper, no!
But also Vic asks her out.
Oh, Vic asks her out because this movie is not afraid to do a carry.
No, really not.
They go to a lighthouse and then they go back to bed where Kat remembers her mother being noisy in the kitchen, self-obsessed and stinky.
How dare you?
Just certain things. The sound of her making breakfast downstairs. The way she put on her lipstick. So carefully. I do remember. She always used ivory soap. And when she'd hug me, I'd breathe her in so deep.
I'm summarizing.
My memories. No, but yeah, Kat's worried about her. If her mum's a ghost, then has she forgotten Kat?
Yeah.
Like, Casper has forgotten basically all of his memories. He doesn't remember anything about being alive.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember his mum, his dad, what he was like, how old he was, how he died. It's a bit of a sad, somber moment.
Yeah. And then is that when he says, "Can I keep you?"
Yeah, and we
he does.
Ooh.
Which some people interpret weirdly, but I always found as a very sweet
Sounded
kind of
much
like
better in my head.
child. But he's
in
very...
my experience. I mean, her name is Kat, so
I can keep a cat.
in my experience, it's when they're half falling asleep that's the best time to kiss someone. That's when they're really most receptive.
You can tell him anything.
The next morning.
Yes, it is quite problematic.
I'm a king back in my country.
The next morning, Kat asks her dad, "Can we have the party here?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Can you make sure that the guys don't
Whatever.
crash the party?" "Oh, sweetie, I have no fucking control over that. I don't know if you've noticed what's been going on around here. I haven't slept since we got here. They try to kill
Dr.
me
Harvey...
every day. They shot my degree.
He's looking like very fucking rough.
They pretended to be my dead wife. I am in hell. I cannot guarantee your party will be successful."
But the trio have kind of like gotten to like him a little
So
bit.
it seems, yeah. They shot my degree.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could get that reprinted.
So anyway, they take him to a bar to cheer him up.
Casper, meanwhile, gets Kat a cute, baggy Victorian dress. It is, as she says, perfect.
Yeah. And we also reveal, say it with me, folks, it was his sled.
Yay!
Yeah, we
we find out how he died.
Because Kat uncovers Casper's old toy room and she fixes it up and restores it to kind of its full working condition. And Casper starts to remember all of these toys.
Oh, yay, I get to remember the life that I don't have now. Thanks, Kat.
And then he finds this sled, like this toboggan, that basically is what killed him. And he spent like a whole day sledding through the night, through the cold, and basically, we're told he got pneumonia and died. It got very cold, he got very sick, and his dad was very sad. And the reason he's a ghost is that he didn't want his dad to be lonely. So he just
This
kind
is
of
a fucking
stayed
Victorian
around.
horror film.
It's
Like written by Edgar Allan Poe.
This is one shade off The Conjuring.
Yeah.
This is the others, basically.
But we're not sad for too long because in remembering about his dad, he remembers that his dad tried to build a machine to bring Casper back to life.
I just want to correct you just a little bit there.
How
the
dare
dad
you.
succeeded in building a machine to bring Casper back to life.
That's true. Yeah, there's no like
didn't use
missing
it.
part or.
No, they don't do anything. It just works.
Actually,
Forgot
I
to
do
turn it on.
realize
Forgot to turn it on. The plug was out.
didn't try turning it off and on again. I do realize why it was never used. Because Casper's dad was dragged away to a mental asylum.
Oh, really? Just at the point when he was going to get it to work. Gee,
Yeah.
No, honest.
bloody asylum.
Yeah, what machine, mate? What machine? That one. It's there. It's steam coming out of it.
It's under the water now. You have to press the Frankenstein book. Yeah, all right, mate. Let's.
You have to go. You have to go through the Rube Goldberg machine and
what,
get
mate?
shaved.
Rupert Goldberg's not going to live for another 50 years, mate. You come with me.
But while Dr. Harvey and the ghosts are doing karaoke, Crittenden and Dibbs have snuck back into the mansion now that
who
it's
could
ghost
forget?
free.
Oh, no.
Kat mentions a kind of like door in the wall, and Casper goes, "Oh no, that's just the vault."
Yeah.
And here these two fuck knuckles are thinking, that's where the treasure is. But they see Casper get into the machine. They're aware that it's gonna bring ghosts back to life. So as the machine's starting, they steal the liquid that makes it all work.
Yeah.
Oh, daddy's juice.
Basically, they
I didn't say anything. You're
Yes,
foul.
you did. You literally said it.
It's blackcurrant juice.
Oh, Christ. So, yeah, they have then a fight because the idea is they're going to become it. Rather than just go crack that safe or like try and blow it up or
Just
something.
gonna kill themselves.
They're going to kill one of them. Drift
But
through
I
the
do
safe
love-
door and then bring themselves back to life. And so ensues
love
a Tom and Jerry style.
I love the vim in which Crittenden immediately goes about murdering Dibbs. She grabs
Vimto.
an axe of all
It
things.
looks a lot like Vimto, actually.
She grabs an axe of all things.
Yeah.
While she's saying this isn't even gonna hurt.
Yeah.
There's slapstick ensues.
Not for long.
She ends up driving into a tree. She's at a cliff face, basically, and she opens up her door without knowing it and falls to her death.
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh.
So,
Not for long.
no, because she comes back as a sort of more...
Sexy
a
ghost.
sexy ghost.
Clothed
yeah.
ghost.
A
Yeah.
sexy clothed haired ghost.
And by that, I mean a ghost with big titties.
Oh. We all love that.
Yeah.
Man, woman, and child. Everyone just...
Say it
on
with
board.
me, children.
She straight up kills Eric Idle, which is entertaining. They point out that she actually, having gotten the treasure, doesn't have any unfinished business, and I guess God is like, oh yeah, and just zaps her out of existence.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shit, I really dropped the
Well,
ball
they get
on this
her
one.
to They get her to admit it.
Ah, okay. The movie at this stage decides that it's been on for too long and starts to really start careening towards the end, which is also what I suggest we do.
Speaking of careening, so when they were at the karaoke night, the trio love Dr. Harvey so much that they want to kill him and make him a ghost too. But they get cold feet, and they decide not to do it, but it doesn't matter because drunkenly he walks into an open trench and dies.
Yeah.
So just as Casper is about to get into the Lazarus machine for the last time, we hear Dr. Harvey return, and he's now a ghost who doesn't remember anything about Kat. It's very sad. She's crying.
Yeah.
And she uses a pinky promise as a kind of mimetic memory thing to make him remember who he is again. And Casper sacrifices his shot at becoming alive again to help Dr. Harvey, even though literally no one thought to try and make more liquid.
Fuck it. Anyway, he's human now, and they go back to the party.
Yeah, which does raise a very interesting question, and Nell brought this up when we were watching it yesterday. What happens to Bill Pullman's original body?
There was actually going to be a
in the pit?
deleted scene about that. Yeah.
Really?
That some construction worker was going to find his mangled
my
fucking
God.
corpse.
I
But
can't believe they
thought,
cut that.
that might make this an M film.
We can't
quite
have an
dark.
R-rated
Yeah.
fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost movie. Yeah, they have this party, and Angela is what I feel like her name should be. Tries to do the prank, but and the three brothers suddenly grow a conscience and decide to like ruin the prank. But it seems to me like the prank would have been much more embarrassing for the two people doing it if they just allowed it to go forward.
Yeah.
Because what did they do? What was the plan? Just emerge with a spooky face?
The plan is just to come out as this weird, very tall, ghostly figure.
Everyone
and I
would
guess
go.
run. Yeah, what's the end result though? Once they've spooked everyone, then they got to climb. Amber has to climb off Vic's shoulders and be like, "Anyway, now this dress is way too long."
In summary, Cat sucks.
What would have been more frightening, I think? What would have been more frightening, I think, would have been if the three brothers would have come in and been like, "Have you thought this through? Have you seen yourself in the mirror yet?
Existentially
Did you do that all by yourself?"
Isn't it time you start admitting that it's not Cat, it's the one you hate? It's yourself.
It's you. Oh wow!
Got a lot of growing
and that
up
would
to
have
do.
been really
Says
nice,
Fatso.
character growth, because then they would have learnt, Dr. Harvey, therapy from Dr. Harvey, and used it in their scares.
Ah, well.
Fuck, Goodman, you just made this film so much better in my eyes.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
Casper, in reward for his selfless act, is allowed to become a human for 4 minutes.
Thanks.
And
Thanks. No, that's great.
4 minutes.
It is revealed that Stinky, Fatso, and Stretch apparently have access to the halls of Valhalla because they actually did go and find the mum.
They did get Amelia,
Yeah.
and she gives him a Cinderella deal. So Casper is now very cute teen Devon Sawa.
Yeah.
He goes and dances with cats.
He asks if he can
They
possess her
levitate
again.
for a bit.
He goes and dances with cats. It's a very bizarre scene. It's out of
I've
the
decided what I
nowhere.
want to do with my 4 hours in my physical form.
He was in Cats the musical.
He lived the dream.
Yeah, so they're dancing. Meanwhile, Dr. Harvey is kind of watching from above, kind of chaperoning a little bit, and Amelia and he get to talk.
Yeah, they get to reconnect.
One last time.
And she tells him, we'll be together one day, so don't you even think about moving on, sunshine. I will be watching you. And also...
Every step you take, I'll be watching you.
And also, don't make Cat wear a t-shirt under her bathing suit, because
Yeah,
what the fuck is that?
Don't make her wear loose clothing under the tightest clothing. Or feed her french fries for breakfast, you fucking monster.
Yeah, look,
complete
Bill
maniac.
Pullman is trying his best as a dad, but his best
He's just
is
panicking.
quite
He can't
shit.
handle this. Yeah.
Then time's up.
Yeah. Yep.
Shitty Mel Gibson, get out. No, yeah, the clock turns to 10, which is Casper's final moments as a human again. He gives Christina Ricci a smooch, but then he turns back to his kind of adorable, translucent self, and everyone is freaked the fuck out.
Boo?
Incidentally, only at that moment revealing that he is Casper. So for the last 20 minutes or so, I guess Christina Ricci's just been dancing with a handsome kid that came up to her at a party, which I guess is fair enough.
Were you not a teen, Paul? Yeah, and then he turns back. Everyone is freaked the flip out so much that they have someone clearly offset blowing a hairdryer into people's hair so
You
that
can hear
gives
it if
the
you listen
real,
carefully.
so it gives the I'm spooked effect. People are throwing themselves over the the staircase banisters to get out. It's very funny.
Perfect 10, mate.
Yeah. Casper eats the camera, and it's the end of the movie.
And they have a little dance, and the trio sing Casper the Friendly Ghost in the style of Little Richard.
Thank God.
And
End.
Only
The
slightly
end,
embarrassing.
question mark. So, Ellen, I feel like we've had a fair amount of your thoughts on the film throughout the episode.
Had enough
so
of
far.
you.
Enough of you. So, I will just come... There'll be a chance to rebut in a moment.
yes. You go
After
for it.
we have butted. So, Paul, what did you make of...
Pass around.
what did you make of Casper the Friendly Ghost rated R? For adult themes.
The
Arthur,
Pool Boys
really
version.
good.
Full of ghost cum and daddy juice. Pretty good. No, it was
Paul and Paul's patented daddy juice.
No.
illegal in most countries. So, yes, I saw this as a kid.
Me too. I saw it at the
remembered
cinema in 1996. I'd have been 8.
Yeah,
You'd have been 10.
pretty sure I also saw it in the cinema. I was 10, so I'm the king of the children at this stage. And, I liked it as a kid, and I was coming back to watch it, thinking this is probably just going to be enjoyable and a bit silly. I'm way more able to pick out the technical and structural problems of cinema now. I'm not 10.
I'm actually worse.
It was fairly enjoyable, and there was some characters, specifically the brothers, are just great. I'm not sure Bill Pullman is an actor after all this time, but I think the main thing is just the pacing of this thing. It's light speed.
It really is. It's quite surprising in that sense, and it feels a bit like an Inspector Gadget style. Let's edit it down from 2.5 hours. But I think, weirdly, I remember this being a really quintessentially cinematic experience for me as a kid. Like, I remember the marketing on everything, and I remember getting an advert before, I think, the Power Rangers movie or something, and just being like, yes, this is a movie. This is a big production here. And there's a lot of elements to it that are very impressive. The CGI, the special effect element, the sound editing is quite over the top in a lot of places. I think they were definitely going for sort of Disney Aladdin with the Three Brothers, for example. But you're watching it as an adult, I still really like it. There's a lot of very surprisingly profound or meaningful moments in there, very dark ones. There's a good general affability from all of the performers, I think. But it's weird how things that you kind of just took for granted as a kid, you realize they didn't necessarily earn as much. For example, the friendship between Casper and Kat. The bit where the boy comes to ask her out and Casper appears behind him and sort of makes fun of him is their second scene together. That's really surprising to me. I was like, I'm sure there's like 5 scenes of them talking and getting closer and getting over being a ghost, but no, it's the second scene.
Yeah, as a kid, it felt like they'd been friends for much longer than that.
Yeah. There might be a time dilation thing going on there, or when you're a kid, a 90-minute movie. Feels like a week that you've spent.
They had a similar problem with Bill Pullman's death and Renaissance. When he comes in, he's like, "Oh, I'm dead," and she's like, "Oh, don't
be dead."
Oh, okay. It happens so quickly. In my memory, it's a good 5-10 minutes of that whole thing of him not remembering anything, and then I remember, the Pinky Promise being a really well-paced, emotional moment. I was like, fucking hell, this is 3 seconds into this scene.
You're right, it is about a 20-second scene, but you're right, because what I remember really profoundly from that particular moment is how upsetting it is as a kid when you're upset and your parent isn't taking it seriously. I don't know if that's a thing that's happened to everyone, but I remember... At the bottom of that pile. Just No, I remember it. Like, a parent's just in a silly mood or something, but you're actually upset, and it just the horribleness of not being able to communicate with the person you trust most is really quite palpable in that scene.
Yeah, and also like Christina Ricci is quite a good crier. Like that alone kind of makes me more upset as an adult as well. Like just watching a kind of like teen girl crying.
A little kid in trouble.
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. I think I was saying this to Sean last night. I was like, when I was a kid, all of these moments felt so necessary, and as I was watching it, it was clearly very, I don't know if it was very memorable just because I watched this film over and over, but all the set pieces, all the gags, the Rube Goldberg machines, the tender moments, they all seemed so memorable. But it's just like they weren't allotted the right amount of time. And the film, as soon as it has stakes, it immediately undercuts them. And I wonder if that's because they were worried about having children be upset. Because they've
potentially
already
they've
already introduced the idea that Casper was a real life child that died and became a ghost, and we're all gonna die too.
That impacts me way more as an adult than it ever did as a kid.
I really remember there's a line he has where he's like, "Dad got sad."
Yeah.
Like, as he's discussing it, that really hit me as a kid, is the idea that if I were to die, it would really upset my parents. And I felt very, guilty about that as a kid. Of just,
so much.
God, that would be horrible.
Your parent is going to be taken to an asylum.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. His dad probably died in a lunatic asylum.
Yeah. But
I mean, this is Spielberg. Spielberg spent most of his career frightening children.
Yeah, it's
you look at Jurassic Park and
important
Jaws.
work.
Yeah, they need to do
Indiana
it.
Jones.
It builds character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean, and I feel it too, where there's moments that I really love, but in my head I built them up to be so much more. Well, maybe just have more time to breathe.
Yeah.
Those tender moments really needed that breathing time, and a lot of the kind of things that they relied on for humor, I think could have just very easily been cut. I didn't need all the cameos. They don't really work.
They're odd. I mean, the Dan Aykroyd one on its own might have been cute, but when it becomes a sort of recurring element,
it doesn't make me laugh. So it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I get it.
I think I'm too familiar with it. I just know that Dan Aykroyd shows up in that moment. Maybe had I seen it at a point where I knew what Ghostbusters was, I'd have found it cute. But I think this was probably my first exposure to a Ghostbuster as a concept.
I think I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd seen Ghostbusters before Casper. But I do think there's some really great stuff in Casper. And,
there really is.
And honestly, like, from how much I enjoyed it as a child, I do still think it would hold up as kind of children's entertainment. Now, I'm not saying that bullshit thing of, like, kids deserve lesser entertainment, but the things that keep you entertained as a child are slightly different from what I'm craving as an adult, you know? Like, as an adult, I want those emotional scenes to be really tied into the kind of story. And
you want Inside Out.
Yeah.
I want Inside Out, damn it. And Casper does
do.
not an Inside Out make.
You're right. It has a lot of really great moments that are going to land with kids, and I think generally it probably is still as effective as it was. Yeah, when it was released in 1996. I mean, the special effects, most of them have aged pretty well.
Yeah, apart from, like, and this was a thing I would have never noticed as a child, but there's a few sightlines.
Oh, right.
Particularly with Christina Ricci. I think Bill Pullman does a really good job. He usually always looks like he's looking in the right place and really interacting with these ghosts. But sometimes Christina Ricci's eyeline is just off, and I'm like,
shit.
Someone held the tennis ball in the wrong area.
Yeah.
All right, well, look, let's focus on all of the moments where the tennis ball was held in the right place. Let's quickfire. Quickfire.
I fucking love how afraid everyone is at about Casper. Of Casper.
Yeah.
Fuck. I fucked. Keep all of that.
Even though he's quite cute, he would still, if you saw him in real life, scare the living shit out of you.
Well, I guess, yeah, because then you know death is real and...
Wait.
And not only that there's an afterlife where you just kind of hang around aimlessly. Yes, pretty frightening, huh?
As a creepy cartoon of yourself.
Yeah, that doesn't even look anything like you if you're Casper. But yeah, so everyone's fear at Casper. Like, Christina Ricci has the highest pitched scream I've ever fucking heard. Bill Pullman's scream where, his mouth splits diagonally is so good. And it takes him a few seconds as well. He's just kind of staring and then he's like, like the scream takes a few seconds to really warm into. The party guests flipping themselves over the railway to get out. Like, it's perfect. He's so cute. And he inspires such fear. He's my goal.
Yeah.
Hey, the mansion. It's sad that I'm impressed by an actual set, but here we are.
I was about to say it's gorgeous.
But it's such lovely. A cool set. I love
it's
the
very
eels
cool set.
As the staircase banisters.
The band.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I think just generally, I mean, Maine looks gorgeous.
It really does.
The various shots of Maine. You can see why Stephen King never left.
Yeah, they even have a line about that where he's like, Isn't this place beautiful? And she goes, yeah, if you're Stephen King.
Oh, burn! Take that, this place.
And also, just to mention, Whipstaff Manor features pretty prominently in a certain Backstreet Boys music video. You all know the one.
It does indeed.
You all know the one.
Everybody now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the Backstreet Boys playing the hit smasher.
Casper.
Everybody.
Damn it. Fuck. I fucked up.
Everybody now.
Come. Everybody now.
I think there was good timing on the Wreck-It Ralph gag.
Yes.
The Wrecking Ball gag.
Yes,
where
yeah.
Eric Idle leans on a switch, slides off, and Wrecking Ball slams into the side of the car with none of which Cordelia. I don't know. That's what I imagine her name is.
From Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All of which, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all of which she fails to notice. So yeah,
that was good.
A good gag.
I love all the music in general.
All the Hornet music.
One Last Wish being the theme that plays while Harvey and Dr. Harvey and Amelia are talking for the last time. It's a beautiful piece of music. The piano's really melancholy. And also the Little Richard theme song.
Casper, the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost you know. No grown-up might looking at it with fright. The children are loving stuff.
Fuck yeah. Fuck me up, fam. Love that shit.
Shall we hold on to all the kids falling over as the sort of... No, we can't have that as
That's
the
good
final.
parenting.
It's very good though, because it's a properly set up joke, and it's about a 5-minute build up.
Well, why don't have it as a good thing?
All right, okay. Well, my next good thing
Yeah.
is the scene where all the kids fall over at the end of that scene where Kat's introduced in class.
Oh, that was going to be my next one.
Oh no! Podcast over. This is like I was going to say Vic and Reeves. It's not that partnership.
It's like when Vic and Reeves broke up. It was awful. One of my good things is just, this is a sad premise. He didn't get to have a life.
Yeah.
Genuine Victorian horror.
He's trapped. He's trapped in a horrific boy life forever. His unfinished business was fucking keeping his dad company.
Yeah.
The dad's long dead. Pass over.
Has he got new unfinished business now, though?
Hopefully. Well, I was
Nailing
hoping that his
Christina
unfinished
Ricci.
business would kind of be more like, he was a lonely kid, and so
Making a
hopefully
friend.
by making friends, he might...
Oh, it's
don't
like
know.
Angel. It's like Angel and Buffy. The minute he feels true happiness, he will.
pass over. I really enjoyed a lot of Kat and Dr. Harvey's moments together.
Yeah.
They had that kind of relationship where she was clearly kind of like a bit bratty and also having to kind of be a lot more adult than she would have liked to have been. But I just love the moment where she comes down from the stairs and she goes, "Hey, Dad, I found your Visa card." And he's like, "Oh, where was it?" And she's like, "In your wallet."
Yeah.
I was hoping I could use it to buy a costume for the party. And that's such a fucking move. Like, I know I did
I
that
definitely did
all
that.
the time. Where you kind of just
Really? What?
You introduce the idea of, like, the
Of
Visa
money
card
exists.
in general. Like, "Oh, hi, Mum, so, I have your Visa, like, you introduce that idea in their heads of money, and then you finish up with telling them the thing you want to buy.
Oh, I actually meant the
It's very
Dad,
cute.
Dad, I found your Sex Pistols album. It wasn't Lost Paul. Can I have it? No.
That's such a weird move. You weird little man.
But I feel like teens do it all the fucking time.
Yeah, teens,
Whereas
9-year-olds.
It's presented
Did
as
this
like,
last week.
You were very
Do it again.
precocious.
Yeah.
I also love when she's talking about how she wants to look nice for a date. Her eyes kind of like flick up to register his reaction, and he just kind of sits back, and his expression doesn't change, and he's just got like kind of a half smile. And he just kind of goes, "Hello," like his face
And
does
also-
not move at all.
Yeah, and
she
the
goes,
subtext
"Oh,
of that
don't worry,
line
not
is,
that
"Don't
way."
worry, I'm not pregnant." Oh, good. Thanks, 14-year-old.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
I'm not having
Oh, I said-
sex. I
Yeah.
think.
I assumed that it was the
Let's not
pregnancy
jump the
thing.
gun here.
and I'm sticking with it.
I thought just the straight up sex, the initial
Straight up
aspect of the
sex.
pregnancy, which is sex. Hey, babe, do you want to engage in pregnancy part 1? By which I mean sex. Not with you.
Would you like to engage in pregnancy, the prologue?
The introduction to.
Pregnancy
I
colon
just
in
want the
media
front-
res.
She had a headache, so we just did the frontispiece to her pregnancy.
I can't find my Allen key.
Best porno I've ever seen.
By that, I mean my dick.
Horrible angled dick.
I meant cock. Yeah.
All right, who else is going to think?
I like the line, possession is 9/10 of the law. It was a cheesy kind of ghost line, and it amused me. Oh, company loves misery. It was one of the something the three brothers said.
But we have company.
Oh, yeah? Well, company loves misery.
I really liked the scene at the beginning with the guy from The Mask. We all wear masks, figuratively speaking. That guy. He's the executor in this.
There's some very kind of like funny-ish sounding charities that he's reading aloud.
Yeah.
There's like Patagonian Wasp Salvation.
Yeah.
Save the Pumas.
Dyslexic Dalmatians.
Foundation. Yeah.
My favourite line of his was the whole 20 years ago it was, 50 years ago it was lousy. Now it's condemned.
That was
line.
pretty good.
But that whole scene when there's it's the back and forth with Eric Idle and Jane Fonda. And when Eric Idle's going, I'm sorry, my client, she's just lost her only father.
I didn't even spot that. That's good.
I really love the down-to-earth energy of the mum. Like, I felt like they could have so easily had her come back and be this, like, really angelic figure. And she kind of is... She kind of is at first. Like, she's very kind of like... She's speaking very softly and... she's talking to Casper about, so now I'm going to give you your wish.
Sort of a Cinderella deal.
So I have until midnight?
10.
Hey, Cinderella got until midnight.
Cinderella wasn't 12 years old.
It's really easy to see the kind of mother that she was.
Yeah.
And, like, she's just very down-to-earth in all of her moments.
Now go make out with my daughter.
Yeah.
Hashtag not my mother, says Casper.
What? And the scene with Dr. Harvey and Amelia. I really love that scene.
Yeah, it's a sweet scene.
With all of Casper and Kat's moments, I wish they had more breathing space to allow those kind of somber moments to just live. But I think it's just perfect the way they've done it. Like, his reaction where he just kind of like exhales and kind of just breathes out her name and is so like he just doesn't know what to do now that she's there in front of him, and she's just kind of very like down to earth. She's just like, it's all right, it's just me. Like it's just a very sweet moment, and I really love it.
Yeah. It's really cute. I like the way that weird contraption that they have, the chair on rails, really probably flies down that spiral staircase.
Yeah.
That was good fun. I want to go on that.
Well, this was going to be like a Universal theme park ride.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
So many deaths.
I wish it...
They forgot to put the trap door in. It just slams you against the bottom and then comes back up.
Yeah, you have to slam into the wall and become a real ghost.
True ghost experience. Once in a lifetime opportunity.
Fantastic.
I might want to go on this a few times. Can I get a couple of tickets? We'll start you with one.
Not for
Once
everyone.
is enough, honey.
I'd like to begin the home stretch by just breathing air into a surprisingly horrible line. Any remembrance of what this might be?
A surprisingly horrible line.
Like a
bitch
fucking hell.
like you?
Oprah on hiatus?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like Oprah on hiatus.
You look like Oprah on hiatus.
Yeah.
That was shocking.
That was mean-spirited.
It's like, fucking hell. I was if I'd have been drinking tea, I'd have spat it all over my chaps.
I mean, yeah. Paul Sol also just made like a very good pun, unwillingly.
What did I do?
You said it was mean-spirited.
Oh!
We're terrible.
Fuck! That's
Angry
the best
ghosting.
thing I ever did, and it was completely by accident.
Oh.
There we go. That's where the genius comes from. That's where
Stop
the genius
thinking.
leaks out.
Stop thinking and trying. Kids.
I just love all the Rube Goldberg machines. I fucking love that shit. I like... anytime you show me a pointless machine that takes far too long and has too many steps to do one thing, sign me up. Sign me up.
It is cute.
I I love it. I love it so much. I love how impractical it is. The chair that shaves you. Like, how does it not just slice your jugular?
Yeah.
I don't understand. And also, it was built for one specific person. So, like, you know, how does cat should have died?
Yeah.
I love the hatchet job that it does on Eric Idle when he comes out, and he's just beautifully groomed centre parting and just a complete fucking state from the nose down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even make sense that he would have a centre part because the comb combs the whole top of your head and sides.
Eric Idle, though. That's what he wants.
He's
got British head.
Bad case of British head.
Last time I was in London, I got British head.
Oh. Never having you on again.
You got headbutted.
Yeah. It's really frightening. You stole all my pastries.
I just bought those. They were lukewarm.
I'm kind of out, but I just wanted, like, a cool thing is that Casper means treasure.
Yes.
So the whole riddle of saying that there's treasure inside Whipstaff means that Casper's inside his son, his treasure. It's very cute.
That is cute.
Yeah.
No.
Made you feel things, didn't I? Ha ha.
A little bit.
That's what you get when you get Ellen on the podcast. You get weird head jokes and the odd feel.
Lots of cum jokes and a feeling or two.
Standard night.
Australian supper.
3 very quick ones. The half-digested food on the floor when the 3 brothers eat their horrible breakfast. And there's just lumps of, like, shitty-looking food all over the floor. It's disgusting. Very good. Texture.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Good texture.
When Amber offers a place as the party location, people clap and there's a really lame over the top of it, which is great.
Is that you?
I love that. Yeah, brilliant. Such a good bit.
There's a really obnoxious sound of, like, hysterical laughing throughout the whole film. I don't know what that was.
Weird. Laughter and tears. Lastly, I think the one of my favourite things about this film is the sort of horror and the haunting stuff when it's meant to be a kids' film. Yeah. The sincerity with which Bill Pullman plays supposedly reuniting with his wife.
Yeah.
And the sincerity of the setup as he approaches the door.
Oh,
it's pretty fucking heartbreaking.
The joke, yeah. It makes you understand why he's so fucking rough the next day. Because he's...
I understand why his life is just hell.
Shot my degree.
How dare they? I worked really hard for that. Excellent. All right, Paul, how about that OGT?
Oh, well... About an hour and a half ago, we put a call out to the OGT. Sorry. Ellen, do you want to do a quick OGT?
OGT.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, SEO that somehow. I don't know what that means.
Will be the first result for OG team.
An indecipherable, untypable noise.
Wonderful.
Google's getting abstract. I like it.
Okay, the Vern at Video Vanguard said, when the movie came out, I remember thinking, #Christina Ricci, oh, that's good, being cute. But I was like, wait, I'm 17 and she's 11. That's a bit creepy. Find out she's 39 now and I'm 42. I was worried about nothing.
What? What? Why?
I guess when he was 17, she was 15 or 14.
Yeah, sure, but why would he be surprised at the fact that, yeah, she's going to get older? If she's younger than you, she's always going to be younger than you.
I'd have thought she'd have overtaken. It's been years.
Yeah. She overtook me. I think it was more that he realised it was a 3-year difference rather than...
a huge,
the other weirder difference.
It's the thing, you won't notice it when you're 92 and she's been dead for 4 years.
Still getting arrested.
We're still sitting police after the Vern. The Vern nearly single-handedly defeated us in the very first episode of Filmily Fortune. So
It's a humbling experience.
How the mighty have fallen.
You know what the dumbest thing I've ever done in terms of, like, time respective thing is? It came up in conversation how old the Earth is, and I remembered, it was 6. I remember being told 6 billion years at one point, but that was when I was a kid. Like, it's probably gone up since then. Probably easily 7 by now.
It's always stayed at that.
Probably remembers both wars.
Both wars? I remember 600 wars.
Yeah, man, don't stop fucking going on about it.
Oh, God. Hey, you weren't there, man. Peloponnesian War? Christ.
Literally wasn't.
It definitely wasn't there.
Trust me. Christopher Bond, the fourth of the three Baby Beard members, says the dad losing his memory or whatever was real sad. Plus the red juice that brings people back to life worked a machine which I vaguely remember being steampunkish.
Yeah, it was pretty steampunky.
Very Victorian.
Yeah. There is like a really nice kind of like when Bill Pullman does realize that he's dead, he just can't say anything. He just goes, "Oh God, like what have I done?" kind of thing, and he's just the rest of the time is spent just saying like, "Oh, it's okay, don't cry" to Kat, and it's like, fuck, this is really depressing. Like,
it really is.
If that Lazarus machine didn't exist, like, she would have just lost both her parents,
and now she gets to live in this house forever, so she can be near her dad, her weird,
the Backstreet Boys.
Goofy dad. The Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, the Backstreet Boys are eventually going to come in, and that's going to be a crazy time for her.
Noisily rehearsing in the hall.
Physical manifestation of her teenage years, the Backstreet Boys. Do you remember that album where Bill Pullman led the Backstreet Boys?
Absolutely. There was
Still dressed as Dr. Harvey in his sweater and his dad glasses.
There was actually a cut song from this film that Bill Pullman was meant to sing.
Oof.
Oh, yes, I heard about this.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like a musical number that got cut. Anyway.
Everybody now. Yeah. Yeah.
Rock your body. Now.
Now. I'm doing him as president from Independence Day. To me, that's the sort of... Today, we celebrate Rock Your Body Now!
#1 in every country in the world.
Any more OG
Yeah,
teamers?
we have actually. Should probably stop mucking around with jokes.
Oh, God.
Aussie nerds. Come
What
on.
we like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, all right? God. Aussie Nerds said Casper Meets Wendy is the sequel to this one, and that one has witches, so you know the sequel. Fascinating man with a fascinating answer there.
Didn't do the reading.
I don't know what's going on
turned
anymore.
up to class.
I'm too tired to engage in this bit. Oh, I see. You wanted a good thing about Casper 95. But, or 96, whatever the fuck this was.
95. That's when I was born.
95. Ah.
Yep.
Wait, this came out the year you were born?
Yep.
Ah.
How'd you remember it?
Did you see it at the cinema? Yeah. What the fuck's going on? Are you a ghost?
Yeah.
Is this a setup?
Oh, you got me.
You're not... Is this
Hang
Ellen?
on a minute.
Is this
Sean?
still Sean? Yeah. Oh, fuck. We're the same person again.
Yeah, Sean just made me up.
Pretty good.
Yeah, thanks.
Kudos, Sean.
I think so.
Nice one, Sean. Well,
Anyway.
launching the pilot says Ghostbusters. Well, one of them.
Yeah,
The
one
worst
quarter
one.
of a Ghostbusters.
Retrospectively, the worst one.
Whoa.
Well, considering real world stuff, is that still?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely the worst one. Yeah.
Well, in reply to all that, Not for Human Consumption podcast has given us a lovely little picture of Casper with a sleeping cat with Dan Aykroyd lurking in the background in Ghostbusters garb. So that's his way. That's his way to fix it.
He's always lurking in the background.
It's the nature of the lurk you got to worry about. Alex Brown says Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Yes, true. Mr. Rogers is in this.
Actually, yes.
Make sure that he's
fucking remembered.
on the 3-man list, please, Paul. Got to punish
Oh, no.
kind old Mr. Rogers.
No.
No.
Punish
No,
wonderful
no,
man,
no.
Mr. Rogers.
I'm sure he would be okay with being a 3-man. He'd be like, well, you know, everyone has a home and my home is in the bin.
What's that you got there? It's a list of all my dark deeds. Well, that's just wonderful.
Okay, one more.
What's that?
Ryan at 26. We had loads this time, and we only put it up 2 hours ago. God.
People love Casper.
What's going on? People love us. Pretty sure it's us. Mostly Casper.
It's pretty much Casper.
Anyway, Ryan said about Casper, the ghost characters still look pretty good, except for the Kathy Moriarty and Bill Pullman ones that show up in the third act, considering this was a very early example of fully CG characters interacting with real actors. So,
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
They look good. I think that's a good one to have as the main good thing, is that the ghost effects... No, that's not the main good thing. The main good thing is that the heart is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The heart's good.
Yeah.
Good heart.
It's got a good heart. Good heart. I like to assess movies like a horse I'm buying. This one, good teeth, sturdy construction, couldn't knock it over. Yeah, I'll buy it.
Good heart.
Good heart.
Good heart.
Thanks,
OG. Thanks, OG. Ellen, how could... Well, I assume we're not going to do a one better thing, seeing as we all came away quite positively from Casper.
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow.
Okay. So, moving on. Would you like to talk about Sleepy Hollow briefly, sir?
How dare you?
I think it sells itself.
You know what? I would briefly mention Mouse Hunt. It occurred to me during the film that it was a kid's film I liked a lot. When I was a boy, and it had a big spooky house in it with a lovable little figure in it, who everyone thought was the villain at first, but turns out it's Christopher Walken, because obviously.
Obviously. I mean, obviously.
Christopher Walken in Sleepy Hollow, also the villain.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I tied it together.
You tied it together.
Wonderful.
You found the Walken we have in common.
The real Walken was the friends we made along the way.
Join us next week for the Walken we share.
Yeah, I don't have a one better thing because I really fucking love Casper. So, suck that.
Okay.
Suck a collective fat one, listeners at home.
This movie is enchanting for everyone. Suck that right up.
Put it right in your fucking gob and take it.
Show it in your kid's face.
Get your laughing gear around there.
God almighty. Ellen, how can people find out about Baby Beard Media, where they can get many, many more fat ones to suck upon?
Oh, you've got at least 3 fat ones to suck on at Baby Beard Media. So you've all met Sean, Phil, and myself, and Christopher Bond, who is our sexy editor. So you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We are on the collective A Lot of Green, which has a whole bunch of cool Aussie podcasts, including you guys for some reason.
Technicality.
We're as Australian as fuck, I'll have you know, little miss.
You didn't even say mate or cunt or something at the end. You just said little miss.
That's Australian. I was called that in Australia.
Chim chimity chim chim chiroo.
You Sheilas.
Australian.
Yes, so check us out. We have Shut Up and Take My Podcast, our Futurama podcast, which is a gauntlet style. And we are also well into our role-playing podcast, Roll to Cast. And our first campaign is Cyberpunk 2020, going mainstream, with original music done by, I don't know, Paul Goodman.
Who?
This guy. Behind me.
This fucking guy. Oh, he's behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please reach out
name.
to us and check us all out because we've all got good stuff to offer, by God.
They sure do.
Yeah, it's bloody good.
Yeah.
You shit cunts. See?
Nice. Well done.
Strange. Thanks.
Yeah, they're a little sort of media empire going on now. It's all sorts. Get over there. Meanwhile, if you want to hear
we be
more...
a part of it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
If we could be annexed, if you guys could invade us and take over the One Good Thing.
Yeah.
And that would... I mean, it's kind of happening.
A little bit. We're constantly on.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
We've just wormed our way in.
But meanwhile, if you hate variety and just want to hear more and more of this, Paul, how can people find out about One Good Thing?
Same old places, same old faces. Twitter, Facebook, ogtpod, gmail.com as well. Insta, also do that occasionally. Also, as mentioned, the alotofgreen.com.ow network is the full name. I'm repurposing it. It's there for this and more.
Fantastic.
This and more.
Didn't even mean anything. Sounded good, though.
Fuck yeah, it did. And that's One Good Thing in a nutshell. I'm Paul Nutshell.
I'm fuck.
I am fuck.
Threw me off with your clever wordplay there.
And I am Ellen, just finding your visa.
And remember, one good thing about Casper 1995 is that behind the sort of shimmering, ethereal surface, the slightly unsubstantialness, is that there's a real, beating, human heart belonging to Bill Pullman.
Oh my god.
It's not his.